Welcome everybody. So in today's mini training class, I'm going to be teaching you guys all about hair care. I love hair care. It's one of the fastest growing markets. So I'll give you guys a chance to get on. Make sure you guys can see me and hear me. Will you type in if you're listening that you can see me and hear me so I know we're good. I'm just going to check it on my phone, make sure we're all good. Let's see. All right, so I've got a lot for you guys today and I want to make sure that you guys are good and we can do this. So let's get started. Today, we're talking about hair care. So hair care is one of those categories that we actually develop quite a bit in. It's one of those things that, it's probably one of the fastest growing categories. And when I mean hair care, it's really anything that's like hair oils, serums, conditioners, shampoos, co-poos, all of that kind of stuff. So, but there's a couple secrets about developing a hair care line that's different from skincare or makeup, right? And I wanted to share those with you guys today. So first thing, when you're developing a hair care line, you really have to be clear on your marketplace. And I always say this in every category, but it's particularly true in the hair care line, especially if you go into the natural hair care market, right? Natural hair care is one of the fastest growing markets. Target, all the big box companies want to partner with smaller brands in this market because there's such a need for it and there's such an explosive growth in it. But when people get started, a lot of times we don't take the time to think through our audience, tell a strong enough ingredient story, or have points of differentiation compared to our competitors. So there seems to be sometimes the products just aren't well enough developed, but I'm gonna teach you some tricks on how to do that today, okay? So let's run through it. If you're listening, say hi, give me a comment, those sorts of things, let me know. When you're creating a hair care line, right, especially in a competitive field, let's just go with natural hair, you really need to make sure that you understand your target demographic, right? In hair, there's so many different types of textures and needs, and especially if we're like a salon owner, we want to create something for everyone. And that's fine eventually, but when we start, we need to make sure that we go with our main audience, right? So here's tip number one, go with your main clientele first. You can add on and do for everyone, but let's go with your strongest audience first, okay? That's secret number one. So what do I mean by that? If your audience all has, let's just say, experiencing hair breakage or, hair loss or their edges, treat that issue first. I didn't say treat, I meant work with that issue first, build a product towards that, and then you can go on and develop the rest of the line, right? So that's tip number one. Make sure that you go with your strongest audience first. Build a product for them. Tip number two, when you're creating a line, we will usually want to do it all. Shampoo, conditioner, a hair serum, a gel, an edge control, all of the products line. But sometimes the budgets are prohibitive, the time is prohibitive, and we just don't have that opportunity. And if that's the case, that's okay. Let me teach you how you can get it all in eventually. What I really encourage people to do is to start with something that is going to have high margins, right? And that has a high demand. So usually in the hair care space, that's going to be a hair oil, a serum, a leave-in, something, a treatment like a styling gel, something like that before it's shampoo and conditioner. Shampoo and conditioner is widely available, in the marketplace. Mass production prices are generally pretty low and it's kind of hard to compete in that. But when you go into like hair oils or hair serums or smoothing treatments or something like that, the margins are generally really good for the brand owners, and you can carry the rest of your line and add on shampoos and conditioners later. So start with products that you know will have better margins. I rarely recommend people start with shampoos and conditioners, very rarely. Those to me are line extension items and something that we can add on as your brand grows, right? So I would start with something like a hair serum, right? Or here's Shea Moisture's hair serum, or a leave-in conditioner. I would start with something like that, or a treatment product like Design Essentials. This one is their curling cream, and this is their twisting souffle, right? It didn't design these, but you want to start with something that is not as common, but people still need it in their everyday use of hair products. That's another tip. It's super important. Now, this part is the part that a lot of us skip because we intuitively think we know what we want to do. But as you will hear me saying, if you follow me at all, I always say marketplace sets the value. So you want to make sure that you understand your competitors. The hair market is very competitive. You want to do some research on what people are selling the products. And here's what you're looking for. One, what size are they selling that product in, right? So let's go back to these two examples. This is Mael. This is a 12-ounce twisting souffle, right? And this one is Design Essentials, and that is a 12 ounce curling. And so let's look at a couple things. One, the size is 12 ounce. So marketplace sets a value. So you'll be able to figure out that per ounce price. So if you're looking to create a product, it'll help you in the long run. Two, it's in jars. Now, why is that important? It's important because people are trained already to use a product similar to these in a jar. So you can educate and train people if you want to and change packaging to make it look different, maybe in like a Boston Round. But my advice is actually to already go with the marketplace understands and knows how to use, so you don't have to do that education piece of it, right? So that you can just teach them how to use the product and the ingredient benefits and those sorts of things. So I really encourage you to understand your marketplace. One, in the beginning phase of product development, so you can build the product out correctly, the size, the containers, all those kind of things. And then two, to understand that your customers already know your competitors probably better than you. And why is that important for you to understand your competitor? Mostly what you really want to understand is what's the price point, what are they selling at, where are people connecting to that brand, right? And thank goodness for the internet, you can do so much of this research already online. So really understand and take the time to understand your marketplace so that you can build a better product for your demographic, right? The market is huge. Like, we all have different hair textures, we all have different needs. Some of us lock our hair, some of us straighten our hair, some of us want just smoothing. Like, there's so much opportunity. And the beautiful thing about consumers is that we always want to try something new. So as you're doing your research, don't get discouraged that there's already thousands of products out there. What I always tell people is that there's no one bringing a product to market like you will. There's no one that has your experience, your story, your background, or your education to bring that product out. So make sure that as you're doing your research, don't be like, oh my gosh, the market's saturated, let's quit. Otherwise, the beauty business would be out of business. But instead, we're still building vitamin C products. There's still new shampoos coming out. So don't get discouraged. Use it to your advantage. Do that research so you really, really understand what that marketplace needs, what your consumer needs, and you can bring out better products, okay? And then the final tip, I want to transition out of product development into marketing. So because this is a competitive space, you've got to have a marketing strategy. Now, some of you are salon owners, which is awesome. You already have built-in clients, but eventually you're want to grow out of your salon. So you kind of have to think through, and I did this exercise today with a client, what ideally do you want your product line and business to look like? So if you're a salon owner, maybe initially you want to sell to your clients, but do you want to go wholesale? Do you want to do direct to consumers? Like, really kind of walk through that step of what you want to envision for your brand. Now, for those of you that are not salon owners, but doing a hair care line you want to sell online, that's awesome. So a couple things you need to think about is that it's competitive. This is a beauty business, so it's visual. You'll need to be investing in videos to do hair, maybe partner with some hairstylists if you're not a hairstylist to get videos created, maybe partnering with some influencers. Influencer marketing is huge in this hair space as well. And then trade shows. So I was just at the Atlanta trade show. It was so much fun. There was thousands of brands there, but it's important as a new brand that you show up at those trade shows. So if you live in a major market, DC, Atlanta, LA, New York, or just even in your own space and they have a hair show, you should plan to exhibit. So it's kind of a three-prong approach when you're doing a brand. You're going to do direct to consumers, right, which will be online, but also doing trade shows as well. And, you know, possibly wholesale through other partnerships like with Textured Media, or they run Curling Nikki or Curl Mart or one of those kind of brands. So you really kind of have to think through when you're building your brand, your end goal. It's never just as simple as like, oh, I have an idea, I want to get it bottled, I found a manufacturer. You have to incorporate how you're going to sell it and then how you're going to grow your business. So that's just my tip for you if you're looking to start a hair care line. We are launching the next boot camp class. It starts tonight. So if you're going to sign up, I put the link in the video so you can sign up. If you're looking to start a hair care, skincare, makeup line, body care line, bath care line, beard line, any of those kind of product lines, and you want some guidance, this is the best way to work together, or one of the best ways to work together. And we start tonight. I'm super excited about this class. I've ran it for 4 years now. So a lot of graduates have come in and out, and it just continues to grow, and they do amazing things. So I will see you guys later. I think tomorrow's class is how to start a makeup line, which I'm super excited about. And then Friday, we're just going to have some Q&A. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.